What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We've got the cornerback investing guide today. Now, I'm going to do this video a little bit different than the past two. Okay, we're going to go through investment tiers, so kind of like building up from the bottom all the way to the top to my favorite cornerback kind of investments going through the rest of Madden 22. So let's not waste the time. Hop right into the video. The first group of players we are going to take a look at is the D tier investors. Now, we're not going to go through every single player in this tier because these are the guys that have kind of been left out of my top three, kind of my main investors. I'm picking these guys up, but just not really targeting them specifically, and there's a couple reasons for that. The first is a lot of these guys don't have a, I would say, guaranteed card that they're going to get in the rest of Madden 22. I don't see a clear upgrade path for them, whether it's, I don't know, Easter content, NFL Draft, Ultimate Legend. All of these guys are kind of like fringe Ultimate Legends where you see Richard Sherman, Patrick Peterson, Mel Renfro. Some of these other guys, it's right, Greg Newsome, does he get a Rising Stars? Marcus Peters, does he get a draft card? There's pretty much like only one possible way these guys get upgrades, and it's kind of the reason they are not in the higher tiers. The other reason maybe a notable player isn't higher in a tier, this is really going forward for this video, for future videos, and you're going to hear me reference this a lot. It's set cards, and set cards, why we don't not invest in them. We just don't really target them or over invest in them, and it's because the way you get these set cards. And some examples of some, I don't know, set examples would be like Ultimate Kickoff, Most Feared, Harvest maybe, but we're going to use Most Feared for this example. Why don't, it's about why, right? Why don't these cards go up in price? Well, it's the way you actually are able to get these cards. For a Most Feared champion, 92 or 93 overall, they require 90 overall Most Feareds, and well, if the cards want to go up to champions, well, the 90 overall Most Feared cards have to go up too. But then there's a way to get the 90 overall Most Feared cards, and that's by getting 87s, 85s, and 83s. So basically, if a Most Feared champion, best example I can give is Randy Moss. Randy Moss really went from like 50k to 85k. He didn't go up a ton, right? It's still 35k, but it's not a ton. Randy Moss 93 Most Feared just happened to be super cheap going into the weekend where he got an Ultimate Legend. But it's just because the entire Most Feared market has to raise a substantial amount, right? A substantial amount for that Most Feared champion to actually see a significant rise and to kind of just pay off as an investment. But you also might be asking, hey, why don't Bono sets pertain to this? Well, Bono is a little bit different. They require 30, 85, or 30, 86 overall cards. And if you go and check the 85 overall, 86 overall Bono's market, you're lucky to find 25 total on the entire market. It also equals up to like the 94 set costs, it's like 150k, and the 96 or 95 overall Bono set is going to cost you upwards of 200,000 coins. So it's not like the Most Feared set, you basically do at any point for whatever the card is going for on the block, whereas the Bono's cards go for like 94 to say go for 75, 80k. The budget ones, well, their set costs 150k. So as soon as they get an upgrade, we've seen with Sean Taylor, we've seen the Randall Cunningham, Bono's cards skyrocket because there's really not a direct way to do the set. It requires 30, 85, or 86s, and they just aren't really common on the auction house. The other kind of question you may ask, Team of the Week sets, why don't they pertain to that? Well, they require specific players in the actual sets. You take Jerry Rice, for example, right? You only need 3 cards to go up on the market. Really not even 3. You just need the highest one, Cedric Wilson, to go up on the block. The 85 or whatever won't go up. The 89 might go up a little bit. But the 92 overall, as soon as Jerry Rice forever gets his Ultimate Legend, you can expect that Cedric Wilson to jump in price. Because otherwise, right, Team of the Week Jerry Rice goes up 100k and the Team of the Week set doesn't cost an extra 100k to make. Well, everyone's just going to do the Team of the Week set. So hopefully you guys understand that. And it's kind of be a theme. You're going to say a lot in this video why cards maybe aren't higher. Maybe I'm not investing in too much. It's because they are set cards. Hopefully you guys understand that kind of term and terminology when it comes to Madden investing. And a perfect start, the first player we are going to be talking in detail in this video is going to be the first player in the C tier investments, being Jair Alexander. And we're not going to be targeting Most Feared. Why? Well, we can still buy the Most Feared, but I'm targeting the quarterly. But actually taking a look at the Jair Alexander card, he is 5'10", that's the only downside, but he always has great speed. Great man coverage, very popular corner. When he got his Most Feared card, his quarterly did go very well as investment, but we are going to be targeting his quarterly at 7,000 coins. I'd say the most reasonable, most realistic outcome of him getting an upgrade probably have to be NFL Draft. I mean, maybe Easter, but NFL Draft probably seems like the most likely scenario. Team Master, probably not, just because he was injured for a good part of the 2021, 2022 NFL season. But Jair Alexander, under 7,000 coins, is almost trading this card for an 87 overall. It's a very safe, basically a low risk, high ceiling investment. I'd just be higher if I saw him like basically getting a, I don't know how to explain it, Team Master maybe was an option, but I really only see NFL Draft being the only outcome for a Jair Alexander upgrade. Next up, we are going to be talking about J.C. Jackson. While he is a set card, right, being stocking stuffers, champion 94 overall requires 3 stocking stuffer 92s to get the 94. The reason he is in this tier And he really isn't, of course, if he was a Redux, he'd be a lot higher, but he's in C tier because I think JC Jackson is on the cusp. I mean, any day now for him getting an upgrade. He can get an LTD, maybe for the, I know he's on the charge now, but the Patriots still need an LTD. I can see JC Jackson getting a Madden machine this weekend. Really, I could. It makes no sense as to why he didn't get a free agent card, but I think it says something more about like how the fact he didn't get a free agency card has to mean that Madden has something planned for him down the line, whether it's Easter, Madden machines, or NFL draft content. I think JC Jackson is almost guaranteed to get a card in probably the next few weeks, if I had to guess. He's just not higher because he's a set card, being a stocking stuffer, but anything under 70,000 coins I think is pretty solid for JC Jackson. You expect him to easily be over 100k when he does get that upgrade. The next card in this video is going to be Mike Haynes. And Mike Haynes has been an investment in our Discord and kind of throughout my community for a very long time for a few reasons, right? 6'2", Raiders theme team. He will be one of the best corners in the game when he does get an upgrade. But we've been investing in him for a while, since I believe probably late December. We thought we were eventually going to get a Super Bowl card because he didn't have a very good Super Bowl performance when the Raiders won the Super Bowl back in the, I think it was the late 70s, I want to say. But Mike Haynes, the only kind of reason he isn't higher is just he's gotten really cheap. I feel like he's been overinvested. And the other thing is we saw with Legend Charles Woodson. Legend Charles Woodson only went from about, I think it was 35k. He got upwards of 60, 65k. So you can't expect Mike Haynes to go from 20k to 100k, but 20k, which is really where you can get him from, like 22, 23k is a reasonable price. I would pay really anything under 25k is solid for Mike Haynes. He's due for an upgrade. He can get Ultimate Legend this weekend, really, but don't expect his card to go from 25k to 100k. Really expect to go from like 25 to 45, 25 to 50k. But Mike Haynes, when he does get that upgrade, will be probably one of the most sought after corners in the game today. And the last card in the C tier of investments is Everson Walls, and kind of like Mike Haynes, right? 6'1", 93 speed, Cowboys theme team, will be a great corner when he does get an upgrade. The reason he isn't really in B or A tier, being a bonus player, we love our bonus investments. It's just, does he get an Ultimate Legend? I think that's the only real path I see him to getting an upgrade is Ultimate Legend. I just don't know if he's guaranteed to get that Ultimate Legend. There are other corners that probably deserve it more over Everson Walls. But I mean, Bono's, you can pick him up for, he is one of the cheapest Bono cards to pick up. You can easily find him under 70,000 coins almost every single weekend. I mean, when he does get that upgrade, you can expect his Bono's cards to at least double in price to 140, 150k. So he's really on the cusp. He is, and by the way, these are ranked if you are curious, right? Like from the lowest C tier investment is Jair Alexander. The highest C tier investment, in my opinion, is Everson Walls. And I mean, 70k or under is a great price for him, and I do think when he does get that upgrade, and it's not a guarantee, right? It's not a guarantee, but it's worth, basically, there's very little risk to Everson Walls since he is so cheap, being a bonus card with an insane ceiling, right? If he gets if he gets a 99 Ultimate Legend, if he has great speed on his card, I mean, he has the height, he has the theme teams, he could really, right, see a Randall Cunningham-esque rise, maybe not Randall Cunningham-esque rise, but 75k, and I think there's a ceiling of like 200k on this Everson Walls card if he does get that upgrade. But that is going to wrap it up for the C-tier cornerback investments. Only 4 names. That you also have the D-tier investments right there. But Everson Walls, Mike Haynes, JC Jackson, Jair Alexander all have kind of their little faults that are kind of holding them back from being a higher tier investment. But all cards, I have multiple in my binder and are expecting a card in the near future. Now we're getting into kind of the great cornerback investments. The first name on this D-tier investment list is Byron Murphy Jr. Now, there's a few things, the reasons why I love him as investment. The first, he is a Team of the Year nominee that did not get an upgrade. And why is that important? It's just Team of the Year nominees that did not get that actual Team of the Year card tend to get upgraded kind of more frequently. We've seen like Amani, just pretty much a bunch of Derek Carr, Dawson Knox. There's really only, I think, like a handful of Team of the Year nominees that have not gotten upgrades since their kind of nomination for getting a Team of the Year card. The other thing, he's a Redux, right? Byron Murphy Jr. Reduxes, I mean, they go absolutely crazy when they get upgrades. He's also a damn good card, right? 92 speed, 5'11". Could get that Cardinals LTD. The other great thing about Byron Murphy is the price. You can pick him as a Redux for 91 overall at like 22, 23k, which is basically discard for a Redux 91 overall. I mean, 21, 22k, it's pretty much a super low risk, super high ceiling investment. Byron Murphy Jr. I think does get a card sometime in the near future. Either it's LTD, maybe a Madden Machines, Team Master, I don't really know, but Byron Murphy Jr. definitely get a card in the near future. Next up, we have Ty Law, and I think we kind of know where Ty Law is going to get an upgrade, and it's going to be an Ultimate Legend. He is definitely deserving of that Ultimate Legend card, and the only thing kind of holding Ty Law back from being one of the best corners in the game is the height at 5'11". He has some of the best theme teams in the game, being Jets, Patriots. I know he's Chiefs and probably a bunch of others, but Ty Law, I mean, it's a 95 overall card, 94 speed. I think if Ty Law was a legend this year, maybe a different program. Bo Knows was really weird when Bo Knows kind of the entire program was dropping throughout kind of a weird time within Madden where they were great cards and great names. They just weren't that hyped up because they were dropped on a Monday. I think if Ty Law was a legend or a Ghost of Madden Pass or just a new kind of more exciting drop throughout the year, Ty Law probably would have gotten a lot more hype when he did come out. But I mean, for his bonus, and the great thing about Ty Law is the price. It's a 95 overall bonus card that you can pick up for really under 95, under 90k throughout basically the entire weekend or this upcoming weekend. Ty Law, any weekend now, he can get that Ultimate Legend upgrade. But Ty Law, one of my favorite investments, more so because of the price more than anything. And the final B tier investment is going to be AJ Terrell Jr. Now, don't ask me why this man was not a Team of the Year nominee. I thought he was going to get a Team of the Year card, going into Team of the Year nominees or just Team of the Year in general. I thought, hey, AJ Terrell's a lock to get a Team of the Year card, right? Perfect from a 92 to 96 overall. Be perfect for a Team of the Year upgrade, but he wasn't even a nominee. Now, he was the MCS kind of other than Colin Johnson. If I believe Wesley did win the Madden Bowl, AJ Terrell was going to get that 97 overall MCS card, which would have been amazing, but I mean, he didn't get that. Wesley didn't win, so AJ Terrell did not get that upgrade, but it kind of just, I don't know how this man has not gone out. He was probably a top 5, maybe top 3 corner in the NFL this year. I think he is almost I have some friends that are heavily invested, right, in Madden. They're very good with their coins, and the boy Trey, basically, he thinks AJ Terrell is a mortal lock to get an Easter card, and I kind of agree with him, right? It's about damn time that AJ Terrell gets an upgrade. It's either going to be Easter, Madden Machines, or Draft. It's one of the three. There is no way AJ Terrell goes through those 3 programs, maybe even Team Masters. There's no way AJ Terrell goes throughout another month without getting an upgrade from his 92 Rising Star. You can pick up under 30,000 coins. It's a little above training value, but I mean, for a Rising Star that is not in the real anymore, the only way you can get it is through packs or exchange. It's basically a core elite or one of those, basically a non-set card. You can't pull them in the reroll anymore. AJ Terrell under 30,000 coins is one of my favorite cornerback investments. That's going to be all for our B tier investments. 3 of my really favorite investments in the entire game: AJ Terrell, Ty Law, Byron Murphy. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get on to the A tier investments. The first of 2 players and ranked really number 2 in my cornerback investments. It's Darrelle Revis, of course. Guaranteed to get another card right throughout Madden 22. Probably a 99 Ultimate Legend, but he is only 5'11", but Jets, Chiefs, Buccaneers, Patriots, one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time. His Bo Knows cards, his legend card when he got this Bo Knows upgrade, his legend card went from about, I think it was around 30,000 coins all the way up to 100k. His Bo Knows card right now, you can really pick it up over the weekend in kind of times the market is down for really 125 to 130k. But Darrelle Revis, one of my favorite investments, just because he is a very popular player. When he does get this Ultimate Legend or this 99 overall upgrade, you can expect his Bo Knows to see a similar rise to Sean T, where it goes from that 125, 130k range to 220, 250k, really doubling your coins on an investment. The only issue with Darrelle Revis is you might be waiting a little bit till 99 Ultimate Legends for him to get that upgrade, but Darrelle Revis, a very safe, not really low risk, because there is no risk. He is going to get an upgrade, but high ceiling investment. And then my favorite investment, cornerback-wise, for Madden 22, and this might become as a little bit of a surprise, it is going to be the Core Elite Jaen Ramsey, not the 92 overall Gridiron Guardian 1 champion, of course, not the 95 overall MCS card, because, well, it's an MCS card, and the Gridiron Guardian champion is a set card. You just need 90 overall Gridiron Guardian 1 cards. It's the Core Elite, and we've seen how great Core Elite investments are. Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper. I mean, Core Elites are starting to become almost Redux-esque, maybe not Redux-esque investments, but they've probably gone now into my number 2 types of cards to invest in, ahead of Bo Knows. Just recently, right? Even Derrick Henry, going back to Gridiron Guardians 2, Derrick Henry Core Elite goes from 30k to 120. Okay, Jaen Ramsey right now, you can pick him up, right, when the market is low. He is 30k right now on your screen, I think, but Jaen Ramsey, you can pick up easily for under 20,000 coins over the weekend. And if you don't think Jaen Ramsey's getting a card other than his 95 MCS, I mean, you're high, right? He was probably the best corner in the NFL this year, Super Bowl champion. Jaen Ramsey will get another card in the game in the near future, whether it's Easter, whether it's NFL Draft. I mean, they're Team Master. Jaen Ramsey is getting another card in Madden 22, and he'll be one of the best corners in the game, one of the most popular players in the NFL today. You can expect his Core Elite, when he does get this upgrade, to probably go from 20, 15, 20k easily, I think, easily over 100K. We saw, if you remember right, his MCS card. When he got that MCS 95, his core elite went from 35K to 100K. Now, his core elite is only like 20, 15K right now over the weekend where it's like basically the price I am targeting for Jaen Ramsey. Really, you could pay under 30K for Jaen Ramsey. I'm just saying you could pick him up for 25, 20, 15K, and you can confidently expect Jaen Ramsey to probably go up to at least 75K, basically tripling your investment. Jaen Ramsey core elite is my favorite cornerback investment for the rest of Madden 22. And that's all she wrote for the cornerback investment tiers. Here's the entire chart. Now, a couple names are right. Missing out Xavier Rhodes, 90 overall. To me, their nominee is just because he's a set card, 90 overall most feared. You also have JC Horn, 94 overall Redux. And it's just, if he wasn't hurt throughout the year, I think JC Horn would be a great card, a great investment, 94 overall Redux. But that is your tier list. And I will say cornerbacks are probably the one position where we're lacking in big names. I mean, Rod Woodson isn't in the game. Who else do we not have? I know there's no Mel Blount. I mean, there's just a lot of cornerbacks I don't think we normally get in Madden, which haven't gotten this year. But here is the cornerback investment tiers, right? We've gone through all the prices, my reasoning really for every single investment, where they can get upgrades. But that's going to be all for this video. Comment if you have any questions. Maybe I missed a player or missed a cornerback that I could put in this video. Okay, like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. And until next time, peace.